Dealing with holiday madness in the salon is real. It's going to get crazy. How are you going to cope? And on top of that, we're going to get into, if you're new, this could be the perfect timing for you to build your clientele right now on the Biz Talk. You know what's sad is well, besides the obvious, I hate when people do that.
Don't do it.
Is the fact that I'm wearing this jacket. It's not really that cold outside, but I'm cold. I'm always cold.
You always wear that jacket.
I know. I've had this for like
winter.
20 years. This thing is so destroyed. I know. It's totally destroyed.
We have a dress code here at Young Mouse.
I'm cold. Leave me alone. Stop it. All right. I want to talk about the holiday madness in the salon. This is a real thing. There's people right now probably watching that are like, oh my God, probably losing their marbles. Am I right?
They're if they haven't already, you're about to. Yes.
So outside of the obvious that it's going to get really busy for salons, people are going to parties. What is it? What is the vibe, and like what are busy techs going through right now? How can they cope? What did you do? That's like 6 questions. Go.
Drink. One answer.
Okay, outside of
The obvious. This time of year, man, you're trying to get everybody in, and everybody has all these parties that they're trying to go to. Then on top of it, the kids are about to get off for a break.
Yay!
and then everybody's trying to change their schedule,
Yeah.
and people are no-showing because they're about to lose their mind themselves, and they're like, yeah, customers, and then they're like, you don't mind staying till 10 o'clock tonight to do my nails, do you? And then they no-show you.
Yeah.
It's insanity, and then people are ill, and you're trying to keep away from that. And if you get sick, oh gosh.
So there's real potential for burnout here.
Huge.
Dealing with this.
Huge. And then if you see one more red in your life, you're gonna freak. What do you want? Red? And like,
well, it's the holiday season though. Can you blame them for wanting red?
I seriously banned it right after.
No, you did not.
No, right after the holidays. I don't want to see red until Valentine's Day.
Do
not want to say. Seriously, it's bad. They all know what I'm talking about. They're like,
okay, but you
Red's a
didn't
nightmare.
really ban it. You're kind of kidding. You didn't offer it up maybe for art.
I really tried to hide it.
But
I don't know where the reds go.
One red? You had a lot of reds. How are you going to hide all the reds?
I don't know where they went.
Okay, how can our, customers or anybody that watches our content that's dealing with this, how can they cope? How did you cope with it? I mean, did you just power through, and did you go home and have a drink? I mean, is that literally what you did?
I literally did, yeah.
But you were a tech for many years. You know it's coming.
Yes.
Like, you've got to be able to mentally prepare for it. And just how do you deal with the burnout?
I think that the worst I ever had it was I got sick. I got the flu, like the serious flu. And I went and took a shower. I think I passed out in the bathroom.
That's awesome.
Then I walked into the bedroom because I realized I needed help from my husband. Like, I need help getting dressed.
Okay.
I need this.
And you're planning on going to work.
I'm still going to, because you don't cancel. You don't cancel.
Okay.
And I walked in, and my husband looked at me, and I said, I need whoosh.
You just passed out.
Just passed out. And I remember waking up and looking at him going, what time is it? I need to get to work.
Oh my God.
And he's like, you're not going anywhere. And that's the time I realized I have to take care of myself.
Okay. So
Rest. You need to make sure you're getting rest. And you got to set boundaries. You got to try to keep people to their schedule and really set some realistic hours for yourself.
Okay. So this is really where you're going to enforce, maybe, would it help if, as the season's coming up, you start to have conversations with your clients, like right now, or maybe even post a sign that says the holiday schedule, here is my holiday, I don't want to say rules, but like, this is my holiday schedule. please be respectful of the time. Even just a heads up.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think that would be helpful. And what happens this time of year too is they start wanting their toes on top of that. So you're almost kind of expanding your clientele without taking any new clientele.
Right. One becomes two.
So it may be something as simple as scheduling yourself an extra day that week.
Yeah.
I think that I did that myself because I got myself down to 3 days a week. I just would work.
During the holiday?
No, during the rest
regular.
Of the year. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I just would plan, like I would get to work by 9 and I'd be there till, 9, 10 o'clock at night. That's how I liked to work. So I would just kind of schedule myself an extra day to try to get those people in that want pedicures and stuff like that. Because I wanted their money.
Yeah. Well, of course. I mean, you've got a business, like that's huge. Yeah. So that's really interesting idea though, Tracey. Like you go 3 days a week, you pack them in. This is your regular schedule. So that opens you up for holiday in a huge way, right?
Does, yeah.
If you need to, you've got 4 other days in the week. Obviously you don't want to go 7 days a week that much, but my God, you could make an insane amount of money, number one.
Yep.
But number two, you have room to move clients or to accept new ones during that time. This is also a great opportunity to expand your clientele.
If you so desire.
If you so desire. Did you so desire?
No.
You already booked solid.
I was booked solid. But I will say another thing that we need to watch out for, and I've seen techs fall into this, is the holiday season. There's you can do a lot of gift certificates, which is great, for pedicures or whatever, manicures. But if you don't have any room to take those people,
yeah, you're kind of in trouble.
Yeah, don't be selling a ton of those.
Okay,
if you're not willing to take those clientele,
right?
You got to have
don't
room
just hand
for
them out,
yeah.
Right? Okay, but here's my question: like, you have your book solid, you got a full clientele. The holiday comes. In theory, you have a book clientele, your book solid. Why does it get crazy? You have the same clients, the same customers all year long. Why does all of a sudden it go from like 0 to 100? When you just have the same customer base in theory? This is just in theory. I know it's not reality. The reality is that it gets psychotic. But why? There's new people knocking on there has to be new customers coming in.
Yeah, there is new customers knocking on the door. You don't have to take those. But if people are all of a sudden, everybody's wanting their nails and toes done
doubles,
prior to a party, right? Everybody's trying to all of a sudden fit their schedule around these holidays.
Yeah.
And your customer might be, instead of, December 21st, where they're really wanting to come in, their appointment is actually December 27th.
Right, of course.
So then what happens on top of it is then you're kind of a little slow.
Yeah.
And now you have to figure out how to space everybody out again.
So you double your clientele because they want toes. On top of that, they all want it on different days, maybe outside of their normal schedule. So there's so much shuffling. And then on top of that, potentially there's some new people that they can't get in somewhere, or they also want to get in to get their nails and toes done.
And art.
Art is got to be huge.
All of a sudden, those 30-minute appointments that usually I would just do a basic fill, they're wanting obviously something a little more extraordinary than that. So now you're like, okay, I better schedule them an hour. So now you're expanding more of your hours.
How many snowmen and reindeer did you do, Trace?
I don't want to talk about it.
Did you do a lot of Frosties?
I'm traumatized.
And
I airbrush that stuff, man.
How many Santas did you bust out?
I don't want to talk about it. Remember, I don't like literal art.
I know you don't. You're way more abstract. I mean, that's even for all the Fenty stuff that you do. It's always like taking an idea and going. It's beautiful, like abstract, which I prefer that as well. I'm not a literal art guy. Okay, let's talk about this. So what I'm hearing. Let me just back up. What I'm hearing is you got to lay down some rules, communicate with your clients ahead of time for sure. On top of that, you've got to make sure you're going to bed, getting your rest. Potentially, like you got to be concerned about your health.
Take care of yourself because everybody's coming in sick. Everybody. Yeah. And I don't like it when clients come in sick, but this time of year, it's really hard. Everybody's got a cough. Everybody's not feeling, and they're trying to hide it from you. And it's just flying around you all the time. You're holding hands with everybody.
Yeah, it's the season, exactly. For somebody starting in the business, this to me would seem like an ideal opportunity to build your clientele. Is that true? Should somebody really look to target this time of year? Like, I got to build my clientele. It's going to be hard for people to get it right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is really good time of year. And what is helpful too is for someone like me that was busy, I was always looking for, whether it was in my salon or just people that I knew, if I was too busy, of course, I'm going to give them your number.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, I can't get you in, but Habib, I think he has some time open.
I do.
God help you. Give him a call. And if, a client's really wanting to get you and you're making that recommendation, they're 99% of the time they're going to call him.
Yeah, that's huge. So, okay. So what I'm hearing is like, you got to network with other techs that are busy.
Yep.
And I'm going to say this, like, I used to hear the word network and I would run for the hills. Cringe. Like, because
I do hate that word.
No, I do because like the truth is that I was always, and still am, I'm not kidding. I'm like, I have a fear of going and talking and networking and trying to connect with somebody and reaching out. I do. That's the truth. I really do. But it's this simple. I think you walk up to another nail tech that's busy and say, hey, if you have overflow, if you don't know them, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm over here. I'm just starting my, my business. If you've got overflow, here's my info. I'd be, and in very kind and courteous way, I would love to take any overflow if you could throw it my way. Here's my work. Obviously they're going to want to they're going to want to see your work if they're going to recommend some of their clients or overflow, or if this just brand new customers, that's huge. They can just push them to you, which is awesome.
Which is great because we live in social media
time, huge.
And you can do all that through direct message, really.
All of it.
But
all of it.
I'm not a social butterfly by any means.
Yeah.
And I knew a lot of people in the town and that I could recommend. And then that's one reason I always say, you don't ever talk crap about other people's nails.
Right.
You never know when you're going to need someone's help or you're working next to them. It's just not worth it. So this is a good opportunity that if you are very nice to people, they'll be very nice to you in return.
There can be no better way to explain that. Like, you should... I think there's too much of like that salon down the street is my competitor, and like
it happens all the time.
Right. It does. And still, I think it's important to, if you have a relationship, you can coexist. There is enough business for everybody. And if you network with other techs, they will help you out, and I love what you said, Trace, about you never know when somebody's going to be sitting across from you or where you're going to need a hand. So
you never know who the owner of your salon is going to hire. I've had it. Like, people walk in that I maybe have said things about me, or I could have said things about them, but I never did. Thank goodness. And now we're sitting next to each other in a salon. So
let's be honest though, Trace, you said things about them.
I say things about you.
There's nice things about me.
No. And that's why if I ever saw someone's nails, it could be horrible work.
Yeah.
And I would never go. I've heard girls do this. Oh my gosh, you need me. Here's my card.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Don't do that. You just don't insult other people.
I agree. I mean, I'm ultra competitive myself. You know what I mean? And we have competitors, other nail companies in the industry, and I'm just not gonna do that. Am I aware of our competition? Of course. They're aware of us. We're aware of each other. You know what I mean? But I don't sit there and obsess. I mean, and I have good relationships with our competitors. Right. I really do. And there's times where I've needed a favor or they needed a favor, and it's like, yeah, let's help each other out. Okay. We're all in the same business. You know what I'm saying? And if you are new and you're trying to build, I think that's a great way to do it, is networking with other techs, getting in there and really having them send their overflow is huge, even outside of the holiday season.
Yes.
Still, that's a great way to build.
Right. And
clientele.
I would say to the texts that are full, what does it hurt? It doesn't hurt to send someone. In fact, I think it to a client, if I call and Habib tells me he's too busy and he says, but go check out Greg's work. You know what? In the future, if it doesn't work out with Greg again, I'm probably going to call that salon.
Yeah.
Because they were so friendly and so nice and helpful. That's great. Instead of saying, nope, too busy.
Click.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You're helping someone out, and in the future you may need that client.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's about to get crazy for you. If it hasn't already, it has begun for us in the manufacturing business. We're psychotic, crazy, all that madness is happening. If you're experiencing it, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you lay out your rules for your clients. Let them know, communicate very openly with them so that you can try to minimize it. Obviously, you're not going to eliminate the madness completely, but I think you can make some real ground and minimize it. And if you're new in the business, take advantage of this time. This is a great time to build your clientele. Go and network and connect with other nail technicians in your local area. You can connect with them on Instagram. You can do a location search, connect with them, DM them, let them know you're available, have them recommend your Instagram page. I think it's a great way to get going. Let us know how you are dealing with the holiday madness in the comments below. We really want to understand it. And also what you do, how you're coping. With that, say thank you for joining us this week. We will see you next week on the Biz Talk.